Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is the Our Turf Football Podcast. You have all four of us today for this big show. We have Sonia, we have Kate, we have Lisa, we have me. I am Dana, and we are so excited you guys are here. I can see in the comments already. Hello, everybody. I am so glad. I love our regulars. They're just the best. If you are watching over on YouTube or Twitter or Blue Sky or Facebook, wherever, come to YouTube. Come to the YouTube channel, get on our live chat, chit chat with us. You can make fun of how bad we picked the beginning of the season because we are going to talk about that today. We are going to do, I know, we're going to do a quick little overview of the Senior Bowl. Lisa was at the Senior Bowl this last week, excuse me. And so we're going to talk about that. Then we're going to go ahead and preview this upcoming Super Bowl between the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. And then God love Kate. She keeps receipts. And she kept the list of our picks from the preseason pick'em show. And we're going to have to eat that crow. I think is pretty much what it's going to be. So how is everybody doing? Sonia, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm thinking about some of our picks. We were
nice.
Oh, well. I mean, that's why everybody, right? That's why we play the game.
Well, so many people put together whole compilations on how everyone picked the Seahawks to be last. So we are not alone in our bag picks. That is 100% sure. Lisa, have you unthawed yet?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Lightweight.
Yeah.
Right?
All the lightweights. Listen, you don't know the joy of walking around your car and kicking that giant wedge of snow that's between your tire and the body of the car. When I get aggravated, I just go out and I just kick those in the parking lot of cars. You don't ever know. You don't know that joy, Lisa.
Or defog. Or scraping off the snow right in front of like where you go on, like where you see on the windshield.
Y'all still not making me feel better because I feel like I was right there. I'll tell you that it was the wind down here. I mean, the cold was fine. I could take the cold.
The wind sucks.
Yeah,
it was 9 degrees at my house the other night, and it wasn't that windy, thank gosh. But I mean, during the Senior Bowl, that week was just hell. I mean, it was, and I'll be honest with you, I forego the game. I'm like, listen, I'm not, because they projected the wind to be like 20, 25 gusts. I'm like, I'm not doing that because I did that all week. I was like, no.
Wind is a thing. It's a factor, if you will.
It was so funny. So everyone knows, Lisa sent us a chat or a text during the week and said, "How do you people survive this?" And we're like, "Well, we have houses that are actually built for it. You don't." So
I had frozen pumps. I had no water. It was just, oh my gosh.
It's a little chilly. Yeah, the South got a good dose of it. That's for sure.
We sure did.
Oh, well, before we get started tonight, of course, we want to thank our sponsor, Donkey's Place Cheesesteak. They have 3 locations in New Jersey. You guys with your pinkies killing. So we have Medford, Mount Holly, and Camden. And of course, you can go to goldbelly.com. You can Google or type in Donkey's Place Cheesesteak. It will come right up and you can have it sent directly to your home.
Sue gets it.
For 5 years, and like we say every week, they're the reason you don't have to see or listen to commercials during our entire show. So thanks so very much to them. We love them. All right, let's go ahead and start with the Senior Bowl because you went down there, you interviewed a few kids, you push off, but because I will say there's not been a lot of hubbub about this draft class.
No, there hasn't been. And, at the beginning of the year, remember we talked about this quarterback class that they were putting together that was supposedly going to be one of the best coming out. Now we've pushed that to next year. So now we just honestly focused a lot on defense side of the ball, to be honest with you. I mean, we got some stout linemen, but the majority of the top 10 linemen projected to go in the 1 to 10 weren't there. So some of the defensive guys came in, stayed, weighed, measured, talked, and left. Talking about Ruben Bain, Miami Hurricanes, Messidor, our linebacker, no show. 2 other, our safety corner backed out. There were, I think I read a tweet where there were 17 people that bowed out the day before. So
was it because of the weather? Like what?
I don't know. I don't know if it was that or if, they start talking to their agents and their agents start, talking like you can, go, which, I mean, you can't blame them. If you're going in the top 10, you don't want to get hurt in a game like this. I mean, we had a couple running backs go down with a broken foot, stuff like that. So, I mean, I can kind of see it there. And like I said, the weather was predicted to be cold and windy and stuff like that. And like I said, it's the whole course of college football's changed. I mean, we all talked a ton about it amongst ourselves about how different with the NIL now and stuff like that. I mean, as we're sitting there, there's transport portal still, people that have already done it. I guess they gave the Canes and Indiana Hoosiers a little exemption to hit the portal after the game. So we still had some comings and goings. And, in the span of 7 days, Miami landed 2 of the top transport. I mean, we got some beef on that offensive line. And so majority of a lot of us sat there and talked. We talked about the combine. A lot of them are like going to the combine now. The combine's huge. I mean, I talked to like 4 people that had just got media credentials for the Senior Bowl, and they're doing this. They're like, oh, we're praying we get the combine. We're praying because because a lot of people have put in a lot of people for this one.
So the thing about the combine is, as long as it stays in Indianapolis, every single thing is indoors.
So nice.
You don't have to deal with cold. You don't have to deal with weather. I'm not showing my throwing arm in 20 degrees in Florida.
Right.
Nope. You know what I mean?
Well,
the drill,
a lot of people are going
contact. People aren't getting hurt. People are getting hurt lifting and doing some things, but not what you face in a game. And I think we're getting to the point where the combine and then their sponsored senior days are the only thing you're going to see. They're not going to go to. They're going to treat these invitation to the bowls like an award, like a Pro Bowl. Like you were invited to the Senior Bowl or you were invited to the Shrine Bowl. And the sad thing about that for me is one of the things I like about those opportunities for them is they get coached by NFL coaches. Yeah. And it gives the scouts an opportunity to see how well they listen to what the NFL coaches tell them, right? You don't have that at the combine.
Right. And it's a lot at the Senior Bowl too, because I got a funny story. And it's a defensive story too, which is even funnier because when we were talking about that with everybody wanting to go to the combines, because those are where the top projected college kids are going to the combine now. So now everybody wants to go to the combine. So it's almost like the new Senior Bowl. Everybody wants to pray and they get credentials to go to the combine because, there's still a lot of talent on this team, on this field. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some diamonds in the rough and you saw them kind of, who was kind of, distancing themselves and who is, going to prove it, which makes it fun because these kids are playing their asses off because they want to get noticed now because all the other top guys are already here. A lot of the combine guys have already got their invites. So these guys are just scrapping now. They want to get invites. They want to, they have something to prove. So it makes it fun. And some don't have much to prove. So when we talk about the combine, the one funny story is the highlight of the whole thing, of course, was Diego Pavia, right? His height came out.
Jesus, Lisa, stop it.
I'm telling you,
this kid's not tall.
Listen,
yeah,
they have him listed as 6 foot in Vanderbilt, so everybody was kind of expecting. Listen, I got into a heated conversation with these guys because he came in at 5'9", official now, 5'9", 7/8 of an inch. Okay,
5'9".
Thank you. I'm 5'10" and a half.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm 5'10" and a half. I stood next to the guy. I swear to God, I was kind of like looking down at him a little bit. I wasn't looking eye to eye to the dude, looking down a little bit, just a little bit. So sitting there talking to the guy's no. I took a picture with him. I'm 6 foot and I was looking eye to eye with him. I'm like, dude,
no,
I can't even get a picture of this guy on the field because I have to let the running back move up a little bit because you can't see him.
Jesus, Lisa.
Okay. Now listen,
Lisa is not going to the combine with us. So
I mean, I'm saying that was his official weight. That was his official weight was 198. He was listed at like 220 at Vanderbilt. He has slimmed down. You definitely can see it. There's no doubt to me. But and I threw the guy way over the edge when I said to me, and this is me. I've been watching football since I was 5 years old. Okay. This is opinions, right? We all have them. We go by what we see, what we know, what we've learned. Okay, what have we learned? There's very little short quarterbacks that make it. Okay. This dude is exceptionally short. He's Rudy 2.0. The dude just lost it on me.
My God.
Rudy 2.0.
Let me tell you, that comment that you made, and we put it on Twitter, that got a little traction. They're like, Rudy at least had a good attitude. This kid saw. I mean, it was just like,
well,
people had
he has the passion. Like the kid play. He likes to play.
Yeah.
He's a little arrogant. I mean, some of the things he says.
Oh my God. Is he a quarterback?
No, he's not a quarterback.
Oh,
he is not a quarterback. If he'll be a quarterback, he's going to be a gimmick quarterback. It's going to be like a wildcat. It's going to be a Pat White. Y'all remember Pat White?
It'll be like the Taysom Hill experiment.
I mean, I have no doubt. I mean, the kid loves to play. He's got the heart. He's a little arrogant. I mean, with his comments, like I'm the best player out here. You know what? No, you're actually not. Because you're
play well. That's a comment. Someone asked in here.
I'm gonna tell you one thing.
Asked if he still at least played well.
He played okay, but you know what they do? They roll him out and put him in the shotgun. They did not. And this is another thing. The guy kind of gave me kudos for this, which was like I was shocked. They did not let him pass when he was under center. Never. Not one time did he pass when he was under center.
Okay. Interesting.
It's interesting because he can't see.
I know, honey. All right.
You know, I'm just putting it out. That's what I was telling the guys. Just putting it out there for him. So another thing too. I was trying to think of things to say. You know, questions. You always do things of questions to ask, especially since I'm obviously going to the defense side of the ball. I already know what I'm going to ask Garrett Newsmeyer. I already know about the quarterback thing. I already knew a couple questions I asked him. I already knew. I was going to ask him. So I'm sitting there just trying to find something, freezing, and every single cornerback, safety, wide receiver, every single time they caught the ball and fell down, all you hear is get up. And it made me think of something. I'm like, you know what? That's a good point. And now I know why they're doing it. Because when you're down, when you hit the ground in college, you are down. The play's over.
Yeah.
The play's not over here. You know, you're if you're in this thing for 4 or 5 years, you're just tuned to when you hit the ground, you're throwing the ball up. How many times I saw the receivers and cornerbacks get excited, you know, hit the ground and come up, throw the ball up in the air, and all you hear is no, and they just start screaming and they get right in their faces because it's like the mentality of that has to be, holy cow, you can get up, you know? And so I did. I started asking like the cornerbacks I loved Bud Clark.
That was a great interview you had of him.
Oh my God, he's an awesome kid. And he liked the question. He was like, oh, it's hard. He said it's hard. And I asked Zakeem Wheatley, the safety out of Penn State, the same thing. And he was just as cute. He goes, oh, it's mental. It's hard. You know, so it was funny because and so those were my funny things. So that, you know, I actually I just paid attention. I'm just watching and listening because I listened to the coaches because it's like I was, you know, I always try to get in the front row so I can hear. And of kind of how they're teaching them. And every single time somebody hit the ground after they got an interception or caught the ball, get up. That's all you hear. Like 10 coaches. Because it's just
got to retrain the brain.
You have to,
really.
Especially, you know, like you said, especially some of these kids that have been in college for 27 years, you know, and come out now. And so
Carson Beck was there.
Yeah.
All right, so we do have a few questions for you, Lisa. Big Red wants to know, does no showing the Senior Bowl look bad for the player, lack of commitment after accepting a spot that could have been taken by someone else? What's your thought on that?
I didn't hear a lot of talk. It was a disappointment. I'm sorry. There was one kid that didn't show that everybody was kind of that said he was coming. He didn't. I can't think of his name. It slipped my mind, but a lot of the guys and gals were talking about him and they felt that he disrespected it. And stuff like that. So, but you know, I know that one of the bloggers put in like 17 of them did, you know, and they were calling, and because I saw on the original roster, there were no Florida State Seminoles at all. And so when I got there, I looked and I saw a Florida State Seminole and I'm like, wait a minute. So I had to go and try to find a updated roster and man, did it change. Yeah, it really did. There was a lot of guys that got invites and showed up that day.
Wow. So good for them. They are
it was. Yeah. And you know, there was some standout players. I mean, I think pro ready, you know, I think Garrett Newsmeyer, the LSU quarterback, I mean, to me, he looked the best. I mean, he, you know, his poise is, you know, he was hurt. You know, we talked about it. I talked to him, you know, And I did. I said, I'm sure, it's beating a dead horse, but everybody's talked about your injuries. And, so I asked him, I said, what did you do, or what's your plans in the off season to strengthen yourself and stuff for, combines and stuff like that. And so he was just telling me some of the regiments that he has changed to do to strengthen himself to show. And, he felt that hampered him a lot. And, the coaching issues too, the changes and the rumors and stuff like that. I talked to him about that. Yeah. Too, and how it affected a lot of things.
Is he really 6'1"?
He really is. He really is. I actually had to look up. I was like, yeah, okay.
Okay. All right.
The other kid,
you can look up to you can be my quarterback.
We got lots of questions, Lisa, so go ahead.
Okay. Well, I just want to say the other one, and you might know, I forgot. Another guy I watched offensively was the North Dakota State quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
We won the national championship. I don't care.
Bro, that dude got an arm. Let me tell you something. That he caught a lot of people's attention. They were talking a lot about him. I'd watch that kid coming.
Well, especially with it being kind of a down quarterback year. I mean, you want someone who's going to pop up.
That dude, he's going to need some development, but my goodness, he was slinging the rock. I mean, that dude got an arm. That's awesome. So, and he's got good size to him. So I'm like, okay.
We'll take him.
So go ahead.
He's over 6 feet. So CP wants to know overall, how did the talent look compared to last year's Senior Bowl?
Crap.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that from a lot. This is a tough year. This is a middle year. Next year will be rocking.
You definitely knew who your diamonds in the rough were. I mean, they stood out. You definitely knew the guys that were getting left behind. It was very, very, very prominent when you looked on the field.
Yeah. So apparently everyone thinks that Pavi is going to the Dolphins. Just so you know, it's not me.
Stop that. Don't even stop
that evil into existence.
Yeah.
That's more of a Browns move than a Dolphins move.
The Browns need another quarterback, I heard. So
that is so funny. Awesome. All right.
You guys are cracking me up today.
Let's move on. I mean, we've already spent 17 minutes on this. So let's move on. To this, there is one game left in the NFL before we all completely switch into draft and combine mode. And the funny thing about it is all of us, let's be honest, are used to having switched by now, right? And I have not been able to do that yet, which is wonderful, but it is a little odd. The time I feel behind a little bit, but we do have one more game coming up on Sunday. We do have the Super Bowl between the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. This is what I have heard from the most part from people around, because like I said, I've been a walking Seahawks billboard for the last 2 weeks here in Kansas City. I wear it and I'm like, I'm sick of your Chiefs red, so I'm wearing all the blue I can. So I have gotten a lot of comments of, oh, thank God you guys are playing and hopefully you'll win instead of the Patriots. Everyone is already sick of the Patriots. And I have to remind people, it is not Tom Brady. It is not Bill Belichick. This is a whole new team. They don't care. That they just burned everybody out, I think, for a little bit. So that's been really fun. But if you look at kind of where this game sits at right now, both teams 14-3 in the regular season. The Patriots were the number 2 seed in the AFC. The Seattle Seahawks were the number 1 seed. This is a rematch of the 2015 Super Bowl. Sorry, my screen is deciding to be a pain. Where we don't talk about that Super Bowl, but the Patriots won it. But that's all we're gonna say. That's all. Oh,
dude, he still stands by that call. He still stands by that call.
I know. He does.
He said he had the right call. If the receiver just would have fought for the ball more, that's what he says. He still stands by that call.
I can say nothing. I get too irritated. So I will say that this is okay. So here's some interesting facts that I found out about this Super Bowl. And then I'm going to go through each of it and let you guys tell me what you think about this game coming up. So right now, this is the 12th Super Bowl appearance for the New England Patriots. The 4th for the Seattle Seahawks. They have the underdogs technically have won the last 4 of the 5 Super Bowls. And right now the New England Patriots are the underdogs. The Seahawks are 4.5 favorites. Let's see. I have learned so much because I had to learn about betting, and I hate sports betting anyway. So it's interesting. Let's see. They New England went from 4-13 last season to 17-3, technically including the playoffs, which is one of the biggest turnarounds. But it has been brought up, and let me tell you that I think the players are real sick of talking about it, that they have had the third easiest schedule in the last 50 years to get there this year. And that's in terms of opponent combined win percentage. And so is that their fault? No, it's not their fault. They have to play the games that are given to them, right? So we will see. Both teams are top 4 in defense and in offense, which should make it pretty balanced. Drake May supposedly is fine from his shoulder injury right now. I know Seattle is very healthy at the moment, so that is very good for them. So this is kind of an interesting matchup. If you look at the national media and how they are talking, a lot of them are picking Seattle to win in a close game, but I feel like they always pick in a close game. I think that that's what you want for a Super Bowl. I personally would prefer a blowout, like the Seahawks beating the Broncos. That was amazing for me. But there are a few other things. May was sacked 15 times this postseason. Just the postseason 15 times, which makes you wonder about his line just a little bit. Although they have a great running back on both teams. They have a decent wide receiver, a great wide receiver in Seattle. So this is interesting. You get a lot of names. We're going to hear a lot about Sam Darnold. We hear a lot about Christian Gonzalez. We hear a lot about Drake May. We hear a lot about JSN. So there's certain players, but really what it comes down to is these two defenses. They're both very good. And so it'll be interesting to see how they kind of go head to head and which offense can kind of rise above that. Sonia, I want to talk with you first. Looking at this matchup, what are your thoughts? What are your feels? Are you sick of the Patriots too?
No, actually, Allison got inducted to Patriots Nation a long time ago.
So poor child.
But she doesn't. But like, she doesn't really. Like every now and then she'll just say something, but she's like, "Oh yeah, they are in the Super Bowl, aren't they?" I'm like, "Yeah,
yeah."
Anyways, but right, but I think that I think the Seahawks are going to win. I think the Patriots are good, but I don't think they're that good yet. The Seahawks have just gelled. And it was like we watched it before our eyes. Y'all just came together, and your defense is like Legion of Boom-esque is what I'm feeling, right? And so the concerns with the Patriots, like you said, Drake May has been sacked so many times, makes you think about their offensive line. Sam Darnold has overall been pretty able to stay upright, complete his passes to JSN, who is just a catching machine. Like, wild how many balls he can catch where he is wild. But I think the Seahawks are going to win is my thought. It's going to be, I don't think it's going to be a blowout like Lisa predicts, but I think it's going to be, they're going to win. I think it's going to be like a 31-17 type of deal.
Kate, what about you?
What was the question?
The question was, talk to me about the Super Bowl and what your feelings are.
So we're all rooting for the Seahawks because we love Dana.
And that's nice, but you don't have to. I'm saying.
No, I do. I can't stand the Patriots. And even though it's not Brady and Belichick, there's just some, I love Mike Vrabel, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
So what I looked at is, yes, the Seahawks defense, I think is the obvious key to this game for a number of reasons. Drake May gets sacked a lot because he likes to throw the ball from under center. He will drop back from under center like 30% of the time. He doesn't always start in shotgun. And the problem with that is if you're facing a defense that's quick off the get, they can get to you before you can get back. They also started running a 2 running back set the second half of the season, which they did really, really well in those games that they won. But that's something that the Seattle defense will not have an issue with. And then the other thing is Drake May does really well in man-to-man coverage because he's got a lot of targets to go to and a lot of talent that can catch the ball. Mm-hmm. And the Seahawks prefer to play zone. And and Drake May has a very difficult time with zone. It's like he doesn't see those guys that are going to cross over and get those interceptions. So as long as the Seahawks offense doesn't make any mistakes, and I feel like we're all rooting for Sam Darnold now. I think their defense will take care of Drake May. I don't think the Patriots defense is enough to bother the Seattle offense. It's going to be Darnold not making mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Lisa, tell us about your blowout.
Chat is gonna love me. Chat is gonna love me because
We do have a lot of Seahawks fans in chat. I will
They
say
are. We got a
that.
lot. They're gonna blow their asses out. I'm gonna tell you why too. Let me tell you why. If you look at that schedule, you look at that defense. They're not all that. They let Jarrett Stidham stay into the game. He's a backup quarterback at best, and they barely won. They only won because of 2 plays in that whole game. Drake May's 2 runs.
He does. He's a good runner. He is.
And
yeah.
that is going to be the key to the Seahawks. You shut that man from running, you're going to blow this game out. I'm going to tell you right now, because you go over, I'm sorry, 3. The bonehead call, the bonehead not to take the points cost them the game too. Okay. So they're actually 3. But seriously, those are the 3 plays of that whole game, because May was the whole offense. I don't know how their offense is ranked so high. I think it's ranked so. I think it is because they had such a soft schedule, and it padded it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because now they're coming up against some big guys, some big boys. So the Broncos defense, like I said, they gave up 2 long plays, which was, the whole game to me was his 2 runs. He didn't do anything that wowed me that whole game to be, oh my God. He certainly didn't wow me that he's going to go up against a Seattle defense with no snow, with no wind, and say that they're going to win. They're not. The Seahawks are easily going to win this game. I don't even see it being close. Like I said, I got 31-10.
Well,
yeah, she got 31-10. I said 31-17.
I told you it was a blowout when you said that. I said, that's still a blowout.
So here, I try really hard to remove myself from the fandom to look at this somewhat objectively. And there's 2 reasons for that. Is number 1 is so I don't get too cocky.
Look
like,
at chat.
Murder them,
Look
right?
At chat.
I know.
They're loving me right now. Y'all loving me right now.
We're going to get to chat here in just a minute. But I do appreciate, I watched a handful of the Patriots games and during the year for if we were covering them for our turf or what have you. And then, so I went back and I watched a bunch of highlights. The way they put this together is actually pretty impressive. And the way that this offense has its moments, the defense is
Who's
very
offense?
good. The Patriots.
Why are you trying to
not
be that host that stays in the middle?
No, because Lisa, it's true. It is
It's
true.
not
so
true.
Their
offense sucks.
Against the Broncos in the playoffs, yeah, that was a mess. That was a disaster. It was a blizzard. Absolutely, I get it. And they had some games that you are 100% correct. They let teams hang out in that they should not have. For sure. They absolutely did that. I mean, they beat the Dolphins, but it was 33-27. And that was when the Dolphins were really struggling at that point. So, and the Falcons, they won 24-23. And so I decided to go back and look at the games that they won or they lost and Seattle won. They lost to the Steelers. Seattle beat the Steelers. And then can I just whine be pissy for a minute? There was a guy, some Patriots dude going off about how if you removed all the good teams that Seattle played, they had a pretty easy schedule. And the other guy looked at him, he goes,
they played the Rams twice.
If you remove the good teams, so that's 4 games off. He goes, yeah, take out the NFC West completely. So that's 4 games of their schedule. He's like, what about the Bucs? What about the Steelers? He's like, no, take those out too. Take the good teams out. It's just so ridiculous. But anyway, so I did look, and yes, they had to play within their division. They got to play the Jets twice, right? They did. They played Miami twice. They get that option, right? And then I was looking. They did play the Giants this year. They played the Bengals this year. They beat the Ravens. They beat the Ravens. So that, I mean, there are some games. And so I don't want
Lamar.
What? Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was. I think it was while Lamar was hurt. Like, I couldn't even give him credit for that one.
Oh, God.
So
here's the thing. I too think Seattle's going to win this game. And the funny thing is when I was over the playoffs, I always get nervous when we play the Niners because I hate San Francisco, right? And so I get really anxious about that game because I don't want to lose that game. Once they absolutely blew out San Francisco, I was not as nervous about the Rams. I felt like once they got it, but then they were going to go. I was worried if they were going to end up having to play the Bills. Like that was a game. I mean, the emotion level of that game would have been huge. And so when it turned out to be the Patriots, I was like, oh, I think we got this.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be a crazy blowout of a game. I do think that Vrabel is a good enough coach. And I wanted to say this too. I'm pretty sure I read this today, that he's the only player coach to win a Super Bowl with the same team. I think that's pretty cool if that were to happen. Not that I want them to win, but I'm just saying that's a pretty neat little thing. And I think that this is a perfect example. Both these teams were 25-1 to go to the Super Bowl in the preseason. And they both proved a bunch of people really wrong, including us, which we're going to talk about here.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we are going to talk about that. But here, I want to get to these chat. Now, I want to forewarn anyone out there listening or watching later. We have some Seahawks fans in our chat. They're wonderful and I love them and they support this podcast and we're thrilled for them. But there's a lot of them. So Kristen knew this was coming. She was very excited about the Super Bowl. Thank you, Kristen. Sue, our Bills fan, was all about Seattle. Thank you very much.
Yeah, because nobody in the AFC wants the Patriots to win again. Nobody. No self-respecting AFC Easter wants the Patriots to win again.
Yeah. Coach says, this is a good point. Thank you. It's still Kraft. So,
so you're saying he's paid some people off. His games will be fixed? Is that what we're saying?
Don't get me started about all of a sudden the story about the Seahawks being sold just happened to be leaked.
Yeah.
So then Big Red says, if you play in the Super Bowl, you're almost guaranteed to keep your roster somewhat the same for the next season, outside of a few trades and if you draft picks. Yes and no. I think it really depends, Big Red, on how many players you have on the bubble or contract years, because if they played really well and they're in a contract year, they're going to go find their money. Someone will pay them.
They're going to take their money. They're taking their money.
So
they already got the brass.
Right. Yeah. But the thing of it is, I know that the Patriots right now are pretty good. They spent the most out of any team on free agency this last year. The Patriots did. And I know that they didn't do a bunch of 1-year rentals. So I think that they're going to be pretty good for the next couple of seasons. Seattle is coming up on some expensive coming out of our rookie contracts, but they have a bunch of cap space. So hopefully that'll be really good too. And then Coach says, after the Super Bowl, win or lose, teams will look to pick your players off. Yep. Just like the coaches. All of our coaches are gone. Ugh. So let's see. Big Red says, I've got the Patriots covering the spread, but Seattle wins the game. Sue wants it to be 50-0. Yeah, that's the AFC.
Probably not going to happen.
And Kristen says, heck yeah, blowout, please. It is much nicer when you can blow out. Coach says, I don't just want to blow out. I want the Seahawks to be up on the Pats, beat them up, Seahawks, beat them up. I love that. So anyway, good point by Kristen. And I think, Kate, you brought this up. The fumbles are starting to stack up for May 2 in this postseason. He has been a little loose-fingered that way. And then Sue says Darnold did so much to get there. May just got lucky, in my opinion. I think May is a talented quarterback. I think that he being 2 years in, I think he has shown a lot. And Sam Darnold has earned every single thing that he has gotten. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So let's see. If the Patriots lose, they'll blame it on the electric substation. Bob, that's hilarious. I love it.
Well, there'll be something they'll blame.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. This is going to be a good game. I'm excited for this game. I am hoping that I forgot to mention this beforehand. I'm hoping my co-host will agree to move to the podcast till Monday instead of Tuesday of next week. So we will let you guys know if we move it up a day, because I'm going to be on an airplane Tuesday afternoon. So I'm hoping we'll do this show on Monday, but afterwards we will talk all about it. So, all right, Kate, we are ready for our reckoning. So we do our big show of the year. The big show of the year is our Pick'em show. And that is where the last Tuesday before the regular season begins, we pick the divisions. We pick who's going to the Super Bowl. We do the whole thing.
Kate, did you break it down to who was the closest?
We were just
none of us were. We were just.
All right, it's all yours. Bring out the receipts. Says,
we'll start with the AFC East. We all picked the Bills to win. They came in second.
So not too far off.
3 of us picked the Patriots to be last in that division. We all said they would improve. None of us thought they would improve to what they improved to go from 4-13 last year to 14-3 this year is huge. And you can't discount that. And it's frustrating for someone who's a fan of the team I'm a fan of to watch someone do this, because there's no way my team's ever going to do that. But
it could happen.
It's possible in the NFL. Parity, right?
Yes, parity.
In the AFC North, we all had Pittsburgh finishing third, and they won the division. The Ravens got 2 votes, and the Bengals got 2 votes. And the Ravens at least made a season of it by taking it down to the wire. But the Bengals had 6 wins this year. The Bengals might be the biggest disappointment in the AFC. The AFC South, we actually did really well. 3 of us picked the Texans to win. 1 of us picked the Jaguars. The Jaguars ended up coming in first with Houston in second. So we actually did pretty well with the AFC.
That was you, Lisa.
We're 1 for.
Not bad.
I picked the Jaguars to win.
Yeah.
Y'all picked the Houston Texans. So we actually
So
did
it
pretty
wasn't
well.
me.
And then in the AFC West, we all 4 picked the Chiefs. It was sort of until they lose.
That's a gimme.
Because especially last year, right? Last year they were coming off that year where it was off the rails a couple times. They ended up 15-2, but they didn't feel like they knew what they were doing. And so it was like, well, until someone beats them, we're all going to pick them. Yeah. Which we did. They ended up not even making the playoffs. The Broncos won that division, which we all picked them to finish second. So we knew the Broncos were going to be okay. And the Chargers we had coming in third. So the Chiefs just bumped their way down. We all had Vegas at the bottom of the division. No surprise there. They still don't even have a head coach.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
It's Clint Kubiak. Yeah, we're losing our offensive coordinator. Yeah.
I was gonna say between them and the Cardinals, with those positions still open, are they both waiting for Super Bowl coaches?
I think the Cardinals
they
are full too.
Yeah, so the Cardinals picked LaFleur is going to be their new head coach, but they had to wait for the Rams to be done in order to hire him.
I think we're good now, right? Yeah, and
everybody's
pretty much is just going to make the deal after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So
in the NFC. We did really well in the NFC East. We all picked the Eagles, and the Eagles won that division. And
let's go.
And that's all I have to say about the NFC from how well we did. NFC North. 1, 2, 3, 4 of us all picked the Lions to win that division, and it's not just homerism for Sonia. I think the overall opinion was their injuries they ran up against too many injuries. They just couldn't, no matter how good that season was, you're 15-2, you get to a point where the injuries are just stacked up against you. And that's why they ended up not getting to the Super Bowl. We thought they would repeat this year, another team that did not make the playoffs. We had a pretty good consensus on Green Bay in second, which is what happened. We had the Bears in third. They won that division, but it's not like they ran away with the division. It was what
tight.
Were they 11-6?
Yeah, I remember that conversation. I think it all hinged on Caleb Williams. We just weren't sure what we were going to get.
New head coach, because Ben Johnson was first. Like there was a lot of ifs there, but we knew they'd be better.
Right? Yeah. If everything worked together, and it did, they would end up winning that division. NFC South was just a hot mess. Thank you, Big Red. We all picked the Buccaneers first. 3 of us took the Falcons second. 1 of us the Saints third. 3 of us had the Panthers dead last, and the Panthers won that division. I know 8-9.
Shout out Panthers.
When 3 of the teams are 8-9, and the tiebreaker is how you're forced to send a team to the playoffs.
Yeah.
But Big Red said they would go, and they did.
You called it.
I have receipts. And then the NFC West has undeniably become the best division in the NFL, sending 3 teams to the playoffs. We were pretty split. 2 of us thought the Niners, who ended up third. 1 of us picked the Seahawks, Dana, and one of us picked the Rams, Sonia.
Mhm.
So the 3 teams that we thought would win the division all went to
Made
the playoffs.
All 12-win teams. I mean, it was
Right?
Yeah.
None of us felt very good about the Cardinals, although Lisa thought maybe they had a chance at doing something and surprising people. And we knew early into the season that they were not.
They weren't doing
that
nothing.
they weren't gonna. I mean, so there were a couple divisions where we did well. The Eagles were obvious, things like that. But when I looked at Vegas and the odds and what a lot of other people were saying at the time, we were right in line with everybody else, and nobody had the Bears winning that division. Nobody had the Patriots not only winning the East, but getting all the way to the Super Bowl. So while we weren't, I'd give us a 50-50. I think a lot of people were surprised by how this season played out.
I totally agree.
Well, wait to this season.
Yeah,
this
new
head coaches
show is going to be interesting.
God.
Can we just finish this before we get into the next
I
one?
got coach, my poor Giants. Like, I don't know what we're going to do for the Pick'em show this year.
I don't either. This is going to be
I don't know
like
is Scatabo going to be healthy? Is he going to be able to run like he started this year? Was that a one-hit wonder? Like, there are so many questions for some of these teams that had injuries that knocked them out of the running. It's like, all right, but if that person comes back and they're healthy, are they going to get back where they were? So
many new coaches.
You'll have to come back in
Harbaugh. Good Harbaugh.
Yeah.
So this is what interesting as Sue says. It says the NFL needs to change things so a team with a losing record does not get a home game in the playoff. And that has been a huge conversation. Even if you win your division, if you have a losing record, you don't get the home game. And the competition committee just will not hear it. I think that they are like, there has to be some reward for at least beating the 3 other teams in your division. And so I don't disagree with you, Sue, but that
you're getting to the playoff. Seeding should start all over once the playoffs. I don't care if you won your division or if you got in as a wild card. It should be by record.
Okay. I mean, I don't hate that either, to be honest with you. I wouldn't have had to go through the NFC West twice to get to the Super Bowl. Here's the thing. And Sonia, I want to know your thoughts. 10 new head coaches going into next season. And we just talked about how we weren't sure about Ben Johnson with the Bears. And so we didn't want to give them too much credit because we didn't know what they were going to do. But some of these coaches are just coaches from last year at different teams. Do you think that'll like sway how you think these teams? Because I think the Giants are going to be quite a bit better. I have a feeling the Falcons are going to be a very different team. I mean, it to me, it just seems that way.
You know who I think is going to make a big jump, even though we kind of maybe already are going to expect it, is the Chiefs, because they have Eric Bieniemy back.
Yeah.
And that's when their offense was on fire. And I think that is going to be a bigger deal than we think.
Okay.
So I think that's going to be a big hire, and I think that's a big move. Now, true, everybody's a little bit older. And Kelsey, we don't know what his deal is going to be, but
I think he's going to come back.
He's coming back now because of the enemy. That was the whole reason they got him.
Oh, it's going to be anyway. Well, and they're very upset that the AFC Championship didn't get as many views because the Taylor Swifties didn't watch. And I was like, oh, for God's sake.
Good.
Anyway. But
the thing is, too, is it's just not head coaches. Look at all the coordinators that have all gone.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, all these teams, even
the Rams
put the Seahawks in there because they're losing their offensive coordinator. Yeah. I mean, there are Miami staff. Miami took like half the Green Bay Packers coordinators and stuff. I mean, it's going to be a huge change for everybody next season. That Pick'em show is going to be fire.
Wild
chaos, absolute chaos. Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting. Of course, yes, we need to get through the Super Bowl. We're going to cheer on those whoever wins that game, and then we'll be right into the combine because, honest to God, it's literally a week and a half later, 10 days later. We're in Indianapolis looking at the combine. But I do think that with all that offseason excitement, I think training camp, those offseason programs are going to be really interesting to watch with all these new coaches and how that's going to turn out. I think that's going to be really, really interesting. So go ahead, Kate.
So, for those of you who play fantasy football, I'm going to give you an early glimpse at next year. Because Cleveland Browns' new head coach, Todd Monken, hired Travis Switzer as our offensive coordinator, who's been the running game coach in Baltimore. Quinshon Judkins will get him some yards next year. The Browns are finally going to run the ball.
Okay. See, it's just little things like that make such a difference.
Sonia's point is that some of these new coordinators are going to have a bigger impact on what those teams do when we're in the Pick'em show. I'm going to be looking more at who their new coordinators are than I am the head coaches.
Interesting. I love that. So Sue has a question for Lisa and Kate. Can I ask Lisa and Kate how you both feel about your changes? Lisa, let's start with you.
It's hard for me because it's like I've gone through this now several times. So it's hard to get excited because it's just a letdown. So it's concerning that we got like the whole Green Bay thing going on now. I mean, we have Dolphins with cheese heads on them being memed out. So it's kind of like, I just change is good for me. The biggest change for me, Sue, to be honest, is I want Tua off this team. That will be a celebration drink that night. I just want him off this team.
Yeah. Kristen said she looked it up. 10 new coaches is a record. All right. Well, that's good to know. I felt like way more than normal. All right, Kate, what about you?
I've had 10 head coaches in the last 20 years in Cleveland. This is nothing new to me. Kevin Stefanski's 5 years was a record.
Okay.
Just saying. You don't want me to read off the list of names
And
that's like your
coach of
quarterback
the year
list?
for crying out
Eric
loud.
Mangini and Pat Shermer and Mike Peck.
Man genius.
Man genius. Remember that with the Jets? Man genius.
Oh my
That even made the
Yeah.
HBO movie. Or
Yeah,
whatever it
Todd
was.
Monken wasn't my first choice. He wasn't even on my list. It's not the direction he wasn't. But I knew the day the Bills fired McDermott that I wasn't even going to get to interview Joe Brady. So whatever. If Jim Schwartz comes back as my defensive coordinator, if Todd says, "Hey, I want you to
Schwartz is gone, Kate. He's pissed.
I will love it. He packed up his stuff and left the building.
He's
left
pissed.
quietly and with class, but he is pissed.
He's
wish I knew what was said to him in those interviews because he felt like he had.
Here's my question. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Kate, real quick. I know we're probably going over. Can I ask you a question? Why would you, if you want him to stay as your defensive coordinator, why did you even tease him with a head coach in interview?
It's a really good question.
Because you didn't want him interviewing anywhere else.
Yeah.
And so what I thought they would do is hire a young guy, try to find McVay 2.0 or whatever, hire a young guy and say to Jim, we will throw suitcases of money and gold bars at you. Stay for a year. Let's see how this kid works out. Help him, mentor him, guide him. And if it doesn't work, when we fire him, it's your job. Something along those, throw money at him because those players love him. Without him, Myles Garrett doesn't sign that deal. I don't care how much money we're paying him. Denzel Ward, Grant Hill, like that defense loves him. The offensive players respect him and what he did on that side of the field. I don't know what's going to happen in my locker room if he doesn't come back. They need to be throwing money at him. And I know they were
like he thought he had it, right? Didn't it seem
I
like
think a lot of people thought he had it.
Yeah.
They were C blocking him from other jobs.
Yep. I think you're right.
That's how he feels, that they waited to tell him, no, it's going to go to this guy until after all the other jobs were filled. So that.
Interesting. It's interesting that the dynamics of all of these coaches' conversations, and some coaches were like, "Yeah, no thanks to some of these jobs," and like it was interesting. This cycle was a little odd, to be honest with you.
Especially the Browns were the oddest, Kate. I think the Browns were the oddest. They were backing out left and right there for.
Well, and some of it was they were getting other, second interviews at other places and things. The job's just not desirable. The quarterback situation is still a mess. Nobody knows what's going on with Deshaun. So are you encouraging Shador or do you have Deshaun? Are you drafted? Like it's in general a mess. I wish, and I've said this on the show 1,000,000 times, and I'll say it every time it comes up. I wish you weren't allowed to interview or hire coaches until after the Super Bowl.
But it's too close to the combine. You can't do it.
You can't, because it's just, they know what's going on. They're paying attention. All of these guys that are getting jobs are not behind the 8 ball because you didn't hire them till February 5th or February 10th. They still know who's coming out in the draft
Yeah.
They still know what's going on.
Well,
I
your scouts
don't
know,
know.
and that's who you lean on, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think too many teams are in a hurry to grab a guy as soon as they can, and then they end up getting rid of him in a year or two because they really wanted Kubiak or they really wanted somebody who's still engaged in the playoffs.
Agreed. All right. Well, we're going to have all off season to talk about this and how this
Yes.
works out. So that's for it's going to be an interesting off season due to all these changes for sure. So, all right. So we will be back maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday. We will let you guys know. I'm going to schedule it ASAP just because I really would like to be on the Super Bowl show. But if not, it will be these.
I'm available Monday.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
plan it for Monday.
okay, man. Monday. We're going to be on Monday. That's when we're going to be on. So we will be here Monday after the Super Bowl, which is on CBS. It starts at 6:30 Eastern time. Just
Lisa,
so you know.
do you know who's playing halftime?
I don't know him. I have no idea. And everybody keeps trying to talk to me about it. I don't know who this dude is.
He just won Album of the Year on Grammy. We got to give her some Bad Bunny. Everybody said her a little Bad Bunny. Everybody
I have no
Bad
idea.
Bunny.
Everybody at work or everybody's trying to talk to me. They're like, oh, what do you think about the Bad Bunny thing? I'm like, I don't even know who the dude is.
We'll educate you.
This
We
was
got
last year's halftime discussion too.
you. It was.
Yes.
Absolutely. So
I
we'll
didn't
be
know
there.
that dude either.
It's okay.
You're not
Lisa,
his
we
target
love you.
audience, Lisa. It's
We
okay.
love it. We love it. All right. So Kristen says, we will all be here. Big Red says Monday. Yes. So we will be here Monday at our normal time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m.
Monday.
Monday. I'm going to have to remind
Monday.
these ladies more than I'm going to have to remind you guys. So we will see you guys then. Everyone enjoy the Super Bowl. Enjoy the Pro Bowl that's going on right now. And we will see you next
That's
week.
trash.
Oh, stop. Don't end on a negative, Lisa.
Come on, everybody. I'm just, the elephant's in
No,
the room. It's
stop it.
trash. Everybody's
Stop
talking
it.
about it. Nobody wants the Pro Bowl anymore.
This is Lisa, you guys. This is what we deal with all the time. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.